Hey guys, this video lesson goes over area of irregular figures or polygons day 2. Please make sure you have the notes open so you can follow along with me. Alright, so remember yesterday we started talking about irregular polygons. So they look a little funky, but remember I said that we are still wanting to work with just rectangles and triangles. So even though our polygons are looking a little weird, just like this figure here, we want to be able to split it up so we work with area of a rectangle and area of a triangle. So looking at this one, again, multiple ways you can split these. However, I'm going to split it so that I have one big rectangle that should be as straight as you possibly can draw it. I'll make that shape A over here. And then notice that still doesn't leave us with a rectangle or a triangle on the left side. So I have to split it again. So I get shape B, which can be down in this little corner, and then shape C right there. So looks a little funky, but we split it so that we can work with rectangles and triangles. So make sure you have a calculator with you, especially because these are decimals, so we'll need some calculator work. Let's talk about shape A. Shape A we see is one big rectangle there. So our base is 5.3 and our height is 8. When you type that in, you should get your area equals 42 and 4/10 or 0.4 for shape A. Let's talk about shape B. Shape B is that little square in the corner here. Let me highlight for us right here. So we see that the height is going to be 4, but we don't actually know what the base is going to be. So this is where it gets a little tricky. We do know that the whole bottom is 8. And then we also know that this little part, just the base of shape A, was 5.3. So what we can do to find the base of shape B is take 8 and subtract 5.3 to get the base of shape B as 2.7. That's a 7. Wow, sloppy, sorry. 7. There we go. So shape B, when I go to find the area, I need to type in area equals base 2.7 times height 4. When you type that in, you should get 10.8. Now let's talk about shape C. Shape C is my triangle, right? So we need to do base times height divided by 2. The base we did just figure out was 2.7, right? Because the same base for B is the base of C as well. So 2.7. Now let's talk about the height. We don't actually have a number for the height, but if you think about it, we know that this whole side length is 8 inches. We also know that the height of just shape B was 4, so that leaves me with 4 inches for my height of C as well. So 2.7 times 4 divided by 2 will give me my area of shape C. Well, if you look at shape B, we already did 2.7 times 4 and got 10.8. So the last thing we have to do is 10.8 divided by 2, which would be 5.4. Now, same thing we've been doing the last couple of days. We find the area of each individual shape, and then we add them together. So 42.4 plus 10.8 plus 5.4. Plug that in your calculator. You should get 58.6. Don't forget your units, inches squared. All right, so here's another weird looking polygon. We want to split it so that we're working with rectangles and triangles. So this one, there should only be one way to split it. My lines aren't perfectly straight, but you can see we have a right triangle. I'll make that shape A. And then we have this little square right here that's shape B. So shape A, we can clearly see that the base is 7, right here. But the height is the tricky part. So they actually give us different parts of the height. We have to figure out the whole thing. So if you take a look, let's start by highlighting. Little part here, we have 4. And then this part here would be 5.2. Only because we know the other side of shape B is 5.2. That makes that 5.2 as well. So to get the height, we have to add 4 plus 5.2 plus this little 2 meters in the corner will give us our total height of 11.2 for shape A. So that's super important. Couldn't use or could not find the area of shape A without finding that height. So area equals, it's a triangle, so our base times our height divided by 2. I'm going to plug it in. You should as well. 11.2 times 7 should give you 78.4. And then we need to divide that by 2. 78.4 divided by 2 is 39.2. All right, so now let's talk about shape B. Shape B, we have our base, we have our height. It's 5.2 times 5.2, so actually that's a square. 5.2 times 5.2 should give us an area of 27.04. Final step here, add 39.2 plus 27.04 plus 39.2, 66.24. Don't forget your units. Meters squared should be your area of this one. All right, so these next two questions get a little bit more difficult because they're asking us to find the area of just the shaded region. So super important that we read the question carefully here because the shaded region is not my whole shape. So notice I have one big rectangle on the outside and then I have a triangle on the inside that is not shaded in. So what I'm really trying to find is all of this area around your triangle. So I'm going to do the same thing and find the area of my two shapes. So I'm going to put shape A, make that my rectangle. Shape B can be my triangle in there. Now, in order to find the area of just the shaded region, we need to subtract out the part that is not shaded in. And in this problem, that's the triangle in the middle. So we're going to start by finding the area of shape A, that big square or rectangle on the outside. My base is 5, my height is 6. So the area of that whole thing is 30. Now let's find the area of just shape B, the part that is not shaded in. So that's a triangle, so it's 3 times 3, but divided by 2. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. So what do we do with that? Well, we take our total area, 30, instead of adding the two areas like we've been doing in all of our other polygons, we're actually going to subtract out the part that is not shaded in, which is 4.5. It's that triangle there. So 30 minus 4.5 tells me that the area of just the shaded region is 25.5. Remember, if they don't give you a units, really just use the word units. So 25.5 units squared is the area of just the shaded region. Same idea here, we're finding the area of the shaded region. So that is, we have two big rectangles, right? We see them. Boop, boop. There's one big one on the outside and then one small rectangle on the inside that's not shaded in. So we're trying to find all of this area around the outside that's not shaded, or that is shaded in. So same idea, I'm going to label shape A, I'll make that my big one. Shape B, I'll make that my smaller one. So shape A, find the area of that first. Our base is 12, our height is 10. 12 times 10 is 120. Now let's find the area of the part that's not shaded in. So that's my shape B. Our base is 7, our height is 2. So the area that is not shaded in is 14 meters squared. The total area is 120. If we subtract those, 120 minus 14, we get that the area of the shaded region is 106 meters squared. Now, the rest of these slides are practice for you. Please make sure you read the question carefully, check the key when you finish to make sure you are on the right track. Good luck.